Hello and welcome to Knowledge by Nature. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I organize all of our homeschool resources. I just recently did a video showing the makeover of this room, which is both my office and our homeschool room. If you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check that out up here. And that way you can see what a drastic difference that I made with this room with just a little bit of paint and shopping my home and reusing so many things that I already owned. One thing I desperately needed was storage, and during the makeover I decided to make this closet into a storage area, which has solved so many of our problems. Before we get started, I would like to thank Rooted in Rest and the Waldock Way for hosting this open collaboration of homeschoolers. Let's go ahead and get started. So as I said, all this is pretty new to me as I just recently remodeled it, so I'm sure some of it is going to change as we go throughout the year, but so far it's working out pretty well. We will start up here on the top row. Up here I just have some of my planners that I kind of swap out throughout the year, so I have a few that I use, and so I just put those up here. We have our little learning resources clock. This is where I keep some of our extra things that I know I'm going to be using. So for example, I just picked this up in a book haul that I'm going to be using for my September morning basket. So I have this up here out of the way. And then all of these are different books that I have picked up that we aren't going to use yet and that she doesn't know about yet. So they'll be added in different times. And a lot of these you may have seen in some of my recent book hauls. And then this was one that I picked up that she's going to get pretty soon. So I just have those up here. This box just houses, it's a really cute little decorative box that has all of our extra supplies. So like extra glues, extra pencils, crayons, colored pencils, things like that. I just have those all in there. Then I move over to our math resources. So I have our little abacus here. Then our 10 frame boards that we use. These are some dry erase blocks. And then I have our linking cubes in this container right here. Then I move over and we have our games here. So right here I kind of have our reading games. This is an owl vowel game. Here is our sight word SWAT, Zingo sight words. And then I just have this tucked over to the side, and it is alphabet cookie games. And so I try to keep everything together. Then next we have our math games. I have Pop for addition and subtraction game. We have Sum Swamp. Then this little container here, this container here holds, we have some addition dominoes, some double six dominoes. These are just some daubers. They aren't necessarily math, but it just seemed like a really good spot for those to be. I have our Think Fun Math Dice Junior game. And then I also just have a little black bag with random dice in it as well. And all of that just goes in there. Then we have Buy It Right shopping game. I have, let's see, up here, let me pull these down so I can show you. On top of the buying game, I have this Melissa and Doug spelling wooden set. Then Race to the Treasure board game. And our pattern block activity set. And I just have all of those kind of stacked neatly on top of those. Next, I just have some crazy slime here up at the top. And then over here in this corner, I have just some random art supplies and just different little things that we would need. So I know I'm going to need some egg cartons, and so I have those up at the top with a few toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. This is just art supplies. It has some like empty Easter eggs in it, some little puffs, little sticks. Over here is just random pieces of construction paper, like little small pieces that we might need for something, as well as some scented markers. Up in this container, I kind of have things for like making slime. So I have a little bit of contact solution. We have a bunch of glitter glue. This is just some shaving cream in case we need it for something. And then I just have a little extra gold bowl. That's all that's on the top shelf. And then we'll come down to the next shelf, which is where most of my books are that I'm using. She has her own library of books in her room. These are more of just some of the like newer readers that we're going to be checking out, and then also like educational readers that aren't necessarily books that's going to go in her closet. Over here in this corner, I have just a little basket with some random little cards that I have and some tacks. I also have this little container back here with some window markers. And then right here, I have a cute little copper mug that holds all of our dry erase markers. This little ruler I purchased from, I think, the Bullseye spot at Target. And it's actually, you can put it on the wall and it can hold papers. But I thought it was just really cute and gave a little pop of color right there. Then we have our cute little elephant with a succulent. And then I have this little canvas artwork with some books on it. In this copper basket, I have some of our newer readers that we will be looking at pretty soon, as well as I have like our human anatomy book back there, and then our stranger books are in the back too. These aren't really books that I just would put in her collection, so I just kind of keep those in the back. And then these are our newer books. These are a few chapter books that I want to read for the first grade. And then on the front, we have our Fly Guy books. So we have a little collection of Fly Guy here, and so I put those all there. And then this is a book that I'm going to be adding into a morning basket for September, and so I just put that there so I wouldn't forget it. Over here are more of like some educational readers that we have, and so I have like a Mummy book, a Trail of Tears book. Here's a 100 Things to See in the Night Sky. We have a Flat Stanley set, which is where he's traveling to different adventures for like Mount Rushmore, Egyptian, Japanese, and then Canadian expedition. I have a few Who Was or What Are They books. So we have The Great Pyramid, Who Was King Tut, and Who Was Nikola Tesla. This one I just got in my recent book haul, so if you haven't seen that, you can check that out up here. We have the Story of the World reader, and then we also have our Sassafras Science Adventures. If you are a family that enjoys read-alouds and living books for your education, you might want to check this one out. I'm going to be posting a video on that. If I've done that, I will post a card up here. If it hasn't been posted yet, then be on the lookout for that. But we're kind of enjoying that so far. Then I have two big fat notebooks here, one for math and computer coding and science. This little set right here is an old set of little readers. It's called My First Steps to Reading. And I don't know how old these are, but they're pretty old. Okay, looks like 91 and 1984 is the copyright on this, but it has every little letter, and they're just little readers that are kind of nice to have. We use these a lot in like preschool and kindergarten when we were doing our letter recognition, and so I would pull these out and I would read these to her. Now it's getting to the point where she can read all of these instead, and so this has lasted us quite a little while. Right here, I just have a little ocean in the jar. This is a little project that we did over the summer, and so we just set it up here because it's kind of cute. She likes to look at it. It's got a little seahorse in there. We have a inflatable globe right here. It used to hang from our ceiling, but I went ahead and just set it there. And then over here, I just have two little storage containers. This we use a lot for like our counters, or she could even just pull them down because it's supposed to be like you make jewelry and stuff out of it, but we use them mostly for counters. And then back here, I just have some pipe cleaners. Now we'll go over here. We're going to be dealing with the third shelf now. On the third shelf over here, I have all of my little homeschool book readers that I have. Most of mine are going to be like on an e-reader, but these are the ones that I own physically. And so we have The Well-Trained Mind, Knowing and Teaching Elementary Math, The Brave Learner, and then this is just a cute little devotional. It's the intellectual devotional, and so I just leave that all there. I keep our copy paper right there for the printer. And then these are more of our encyclopedias and different resources like that. And then over here, these are our workbooks. So different, not necessarily full-time curriculum, but these are just the different workbooks that we might pull out and do randomly throughout the week or the month. And so we have our Tinkeractive Science and Math. These are just a few that are subjects that I have to cover for my state. And so I just have all of those right there so that I can cover those sometime throughout the year. I have a Logic Mindbenders book. This is a neat little science activity book that I just picked up. And then we have our Brain Quest workbook. Right here we have our All About Spelling book, which houses all of our All About Reading and All About Spelling cards. This is just a cute little piece that I have that I add all of these little things to, and then that way she knows what we're covering for the day. And then sometimes she wants to flip them over, sometimes she doesn't, but we have different things back here. So if I unclip this, we have history, social studies, and science. And so whatever day it is, I will put that up so that she knows which one that we are doing that day. And then again, she can flip them over if she wants to, or she can just know that we finished that. And so this is just a good visual of this is what we're doing for the day. This little basket here is where I keep our readers, or her readers, I guess you could say. So we have our little Bob books here. We have set 1, set 2, our 2 readers for level 2 of All About Reading. These are some little Paw Patrol phonics readers. And then right here, these are actually some Scholastic readers. There's 3 levels of them, if I can get a hold of one. And so they're just little like National Geographic ones. So they're all about animals and things like that. So that's a different little reader for her, and it's fun. Next is some little totes here that this is housing things more for me again. And so in this tote, I just have some of my camera equipment and chargers and flash drives and things like that. And then over here, I just have my little HP printer and the little extra ink cartridges for those. And then I have some extra ink in here also. Back here, I just have a couple of laptops that I use. It's one of the sleeves and then a little air vent here, and then just 2 extra storage boxes that I'm wanting to hold on to for a little bit. So that's everything that's on that 3rd shelf. And then the 4th shelf over here. Over here in the corner, I just have our old All About Reading box. I went ahead and kept all of the little foam things and I put that in there. This box is just kind of like some of my little drawing things, I guess you could say, and she can use them also, but it's just here's her little stamps and stamp pad, and so if I need to use the stamps, they're in there. And then we just have like some little adult coloring books with, this is full of colored pencils, and so that's what's in here. This is just little like random activities that she can just come and grab really easily. We have like some word searches. Here's our paint by sticker book, our big pigeon activity book, a little notebook if she just wants to like draw something, some hidden pictures. We have our wipe and learn activity book. Then we have the girls doodle book. This is really neat. I actually did a video on that if you're interested in that. It's just a really neat little drawing book that gives them prompts. And then we have a jumbo book of hidden pictures also. So sometimes I'll just ask her to come in here and grab some sort of little activity to do. Then in this middle section here, we have our salt box, which we use for a lot of things with our handwriting, and also we use it during math sometimes. Then we just have this little container, has some crayons in it. We have markers here, more markers here. We have some scissors, we have a glue stick, and then we also have regular glue, and all of this is just in this little basket here. We have a little American flag in the back there. Then this houses all of the curriculum that I am pulling for every day. And so we have our All About Reading Level 2. We have our Indescribable 100 Devotions. This is a 52 Weeks of Family Spanish. Dude, That's Rude. We have our Sassafras Science books here. There's just a little notebooking journal right here. This is Handwriting Without Tears, Level 1, Lollipop Logic, the teacher's manual for all about spelling. Then I have, there's this little purple notebook which is holding some things for all about spelling, like the certificate and the little like daily little chart where you put a sticker on it. We have our cursive handwriting, which is Roller Coaster Rider, First Language Lessons for the Well-Trained Mind. We have like just a few sheets of this Explode the Code that we need to finish. Writing with Ease, our Story of the World workbook. And then I went ahead and put this in here. This is DK Books Visual Guide to Grammar and Punctuation. I'm going to be pulling this a lot whenever we're doing some of our writing and first language lessons, so I just went ahead and put that there. It could go up on that shelf, but it just fits better down here. And then we have our textbook, workbook, and teacher's manual for Dimensions Math. Our little daily calendar. And then over here in this big basket is just some more of my things. And so this is kind of my notebooking and travel notebook situation is all in here. So we have my washi tape with some different stickers and things that I would use, some extra little notebooks that I would put in my traveler's notebook. I have some markers. I have different flags that I might use over here. Some extra pens. This is a little bag full of gel pens. And I use these a lot, like if I'm going to do some of like one of those coloring pages or something. I have my beautiful traveler's notebook back here. And then I have these super cool pencils that we use sometimes. These are a lot of our, like when we go and do scavenger hunts outside, there's just something really cool about using these big twig pencils. So I just have those back there in the back, and then I just have a few cords back in there. All right, down here on the very bottom shelf, these are things that I'm not necessarily reaching for a ton, so I just have it kind of pushed back here in the back. These are like all of the workbooks and just copies of different things that we used in kindergarten in case I need any of it. And so then I also have our Ziggy Zebra puppet. He's in there, and so he doesn't come out too often anymore, but I definitely do want him where I can easily access him because we do still use him. And then I just have some random glow sticks in here, and I have a little Learn felt clock. This I finally got the other day. This is something I think I ordered back in April maybe, and it was really hard to get my hands on one, and it was back ordered for forever, and I finally just got it the other day. I've done this before, and it's just a really neat little milestone thing to add. And so I have one, and so the first one, she was pretty small, and so I did most of it. This time it'll be fun to see how she decorates hers. So I have that there because that's something I'm going to want to do probably this week sometime. This is kind of more office supplies things and extra pages. So I have my cutter and my hole punch here. These are just some extra notebooks that I have. I have some index cards here, some little color coding labels, and some little reinforcement labels. These are some extra little, they're just long word strips, and so she could use these to write on, or those are actually what I cut to use for that up there. So if they ever get messed up, I can just make another cut. And I got these at the Dollar Tree. I have some extra manila folders. These are some clear like protective page sheets. I have some extra folders back here, and then we have like some labels and just different like weighted papers that I might need. Next, we have our whiteboard. So I just have that put over here at the side, and this is something that we pull for every week. And then this is just some extra school things. This is actually a big set of printing that I did for like nature study, and then the Magic School Bus. I found a program online, and so I printed that off. That was something we used a lot in kindergarten. And then we just have some extra binders, so like Some of them are empty. Some of them just have random drawings and stuff that she's put in there. This is level 1 Ziggy game book for All About Reading, and so I want to keep that because even though we're in level 2, a lot of this can be used for learning what we're still doing in word practice, and she loves Ziggy, so we're definitely keeping that. Over here is just some random books that I had got from the Dollar Tree quite a while ago, and so I just hold on to those in case we just want to do a random little workbook like that sometime. I have some extra folders here, and then this holds my extra magnets that I am going to eventually need for All About Reading. Then I just have some construction paper here, different construction papers, and then this is a really neat notebook right here that I found at Target last year, I think, and it is a learn to letter with raised ruling. And so you come in here, you open up your page, and you can feel the lines, and so it's really good for a new writer or even a struggling writer, because you can really feel that top and bottom line right there. And so this was by Mead. And then in here we just have some of the Black Line Masters 4 Dimensions Math, and most of these are ones from KA, but we can reuse a lot of them. And so what I did is I just put them in envelopes. Let's see if I can pull one out here. And I labeled them. So this is like 10 and some more word cards. We have like 10 frames, word cards, word numbers, and so I just put those all in there because those are pretty much the same thing that we need for here. And this next basket is just some random things. So I have this little bag full of felt money that we had used way back in preschool, and so I have those there. These are some little boards that you can make different designs on with some rubber bands, and so the rubber bands are in there. And then I have some wiki sticks here. This is Car Bingo, wiki sticks in the back. This is a seed growing thing that I need to do one of these days also. And then I have a piggy bank with some money in there. And I also have some of these little wooden blocks. I think this came from like a miniature Jenga game or something like that, but we use them for counters sometimes. This little container right here is where I put like our nature journal and things like that, so that if we go for a walk and we want to grab it, we just have this that we can use. I have a sticker book here, and then here is 1B, 4 Dimensions Math. We don't need that quite yet, so I just have that safely stored down here at the bottom. And then I have all of these clear protective sheets that we use a lot. So I just have those put right there. Over here is just some little activities that if she wants to do, she can come and get access to really easily. Right here is just some colored pencils. And then I have some paint and paint brushes and watercolors in here. This is just a neat little, what's it called? Bunchums. And so they just house in here, and you can use these little bunchums and just make a neat little thing with that. And then I have some sand over here, some blue kinetic sand with this blow up thing that you can put in there. Then back here in the back, I just have a little learn to spell book with magnets that she could grab if she wants to. And all this basket is we have this big fabric United States map that I just couldn't decide if I wanted back on the wall. It is something that we used a lot last year, and I think we'll use it again. But the thing is I can just easily pull it out. We can lay it out on the floor, look at whatever we need, because it's just like this big blanket almost. And then it doesn't have to be on the wall if I don't want it to be on the wall. I just keep that down in there. So that is everything that is inside the closet. Now I also have this wall hanger here that I ended up just keeping because it's kind of nice for just little random things. The top is empty except for this Abacus Learning Resources booklet. I don't know why I kept that. Up here I just have some clothespins. Here is bananagrams, a umbrella, some little plastic bottles in case we need to, like, we use these a lot to put food coloring in, and in the winter we go and we like paint the snow. So that's what those are. Then I have a bunch of cards and different things. So we have like a count and match puzzle, numbers to 100 cards, alphabet cards, flags of the world, Spanish words. Then right here I just have some toothpicks for random activities, some different cards. These are just some playing cards that we can use for like crafting or something. They're not a match anymore. This is a big deal of sight words that we have been using. This is something she has had since she was a baby, and we really don't ever use it, but I should, because I can make like these plus minus sort of math things, so I should start using this more. Then I have a regular deck of playing cards. We have Go Fish. I have another Go Fish with some other characters. And then I have a Time and Money, Disney Time and Money card. Down here I have some watercolors, some extra dice, a paintbrush, like I said, randomness that's in here, a magnetic clippy. Oh, these are pretty cool. We've been using these a lot recently too. These are counting farms, and all it is wooden numbers, and so it has like the 4 on the back, but we've been using these a lot for like 1 up, 1 down games with our dimensions math and making patterns and stuff like that. These are some Tegu, I think that's how you say it, Tegu magnetic wooden blocks, and so she likes to get those out and play sometimes. This is just a little container of little colored pencils, and so this is nice if we're going somewhere. She can just go and she can grab those really quick. I have a big deal of brown paper for just like if I'm putting down and we're going to be messing with glitter or a bunch of glue or something, I just can fold this up and put it down as kind of a protector. A deal of ribbon, and then her little headphones. So that is everything that is on there. So I have a few more things over here. In this little wooden basket over here, I just keep a hole punch. I have some clips and paper clips in there, some extra pens that I haven't used yet, and just a little notebook. And then we keep our tape and our stapler over there. And then here is my printer and scanner that I use. And then if you saw in the video where I did the makeover, I mentioned this basket right here. And I just have this wooden basket that I put anything that I need to scan or take a picture of or something, and I can get to that whenever I have time. Then over here in the far corner is just a little tier 3 tray for me that has my homeschool planner in it, my personal planner in it, and then this is the pens that I use, as well as stickers that I might grab for. So I have all of those in this little container. Down here is just some books that I need, our old homeschool planner that I might reference some for a little bit longer, a little notebook, and then just some random electronics that I need right there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'll see you in my next one.